Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Family Law Talk, presented by Kirk Stange of Stange Law Firm, PC. Stange Law Firm is a family law firm in the St. Louis metro area, with offices in Missouri and Illinois. Now, here's your host, Kirk Stange.
Welcome to Family Law Talk. This is Kirk Stange, a family law attorney and managing partner of Stange Law Firm, PC, which is a family law firm with offices in Missouri and Illinois. Well, welcome today to Family Law Talk with Stange Law Firm. We have a very interesting topic today. The topic is picture yourself on the witness stand, and this is based on an article on familylawheadquarters.com titled Picture Yourself on the Witness Stand. The date of the article is December 6, 2014, so as a follow-up to the episode today, you can definitely go to familylawheadquarters.com and find this article dated December 6, 2014, and you can read it as a follow-up today. It's a very interesting topic. We're going to get to it here in more details in just a second, but I'll state, as I always do, that the choice of a lawyer is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertisements, that the information you obtain today in this episode is general in nature, and it may not apply to specific factual or legal circumstance. Therefore, if you need legal advice, you should definitely consult an attorney who is licensed and competent to practice law in your specific jurisdiction. All right, so on to the topic. And again, the topic is picturing yourself on the witness stand. And again, this is really more a metaphor for folks out there. You know, lots of people are going through divorce and family law cases, unfortunately, during this holiday season. And oftentimes they're faced with having to make quick decisions. And you know, for the folks out there, you know, they want to be able to reach their attorney. You know, a lot of people have very specific questions that they like to bounce off their attorney on all kinds of different matters. It can involve communications issues between themselves and their soon-to-be ex. It can involve things like payment of various marital bills at the beginning of a divorce case where maybe no court order has been put into play. It can involve co-parenting type issues. Let's face it, a lot of disputes between parties can range on co-parenting issues across the spectrum, really, where maybe just parents have different viewpoints in terms of how to raise their kids, or maybe what the proper decision to make for the kids in a specific situation is. And so it could be a co-parenting issue. It could be simple things like maybe one party just simply being upset with the other party to the case. It could involve casual communication. It could involve communication on a substantive type issue. I mean, you name it. These things can come up, and oftentimes it can involve, you know, other items as well, which is just overall frustration with the court process. You know, to individuals out there going through a divorce or family law case, most people want their case done immediately. And there's just not a whole lot of patience for the court process. Obviously, this time of the year during the holidays can be a tough time to get a court date on important items, and that can be really frustrating for people going through a divorce or family law matter. A lot of individuals might be frustrated with a guardian ad litem. If it's a custody case and a guardian ad litem has been appointed by the court, sometimes guardian ad litems might make informal recommendations to the parties, and it might be a situation where a party going through a divorce or family law case is just not happy with that recommendation of the guardian ad litem, or maybe they think there should be further investigation or other things looked at that haven't been looked at, and that can cause a party to become frustrated. And again, overall length of the case can definitely be an item that can be frustrating to people. Obviously, you know, most people want an ending date to their case, and I think it can be a rude awakening for a lot of people going through a divorce or family law case just to see how backed up the court dockets can be, how there can be so many cases before these judges. And in most counties, there's a limited number of judges that can hear these cases, and obviously their time is precious and limited. And so this can be a frustrating thing for parties going through a divorce or family law case. And again, you know, most attorneys out there are billing by the hour for the work that they do on a divorce family law case, and that is just based on the fact that a lot of these cases are really unpredictable in terms of whether or not it's going to settle, whether it's going to go to trial, whether it's a type of case that can be resolved in a couple months, or whether it's a type of case that can take many months, sometimes a year or more, for the more complex type cases. And so what individuals want to do is when they're presented with choices, when they're presented with having to make a quick decision, if you will, this can be a big quandary for somebody going through a divorce or family law case. And so, what most individuals want to do is pick up the phone and talk to their attorney to find out what the proper course of conduct is for them in their particular case. And obviously that is the right move in the vast majority of cases. Pick up the phone, schedule a meeting, maybe send an email to your attorney, present them with the situation and try to get some insight. Obviously, it's important to have an attorney representing you in a divorce or family law case, and so it's just critical that you go through that attorney on these decisions as much as possible. But let's face it, which is family law offices close at times. I mean, they're not open 24/7. Some attorneys, through the holiday season can be tough to get. During this season, lots of offices are closed through much of the holidays, or maybe they're open, but they close early. And obviously, attorneys are people just like everybody else, and they're spending time with their family and friends, and so they can be hard to reach. And so the dilemma out there is that, again, conflict oftentimes brews at the most inopportune times. And in these times, clients going through divorce and family law cases have to make decisions, oftentimes big decisions, and these big decisions, in fact, can have a huge effect on the overall outcome of the case. And so this can be tough for individuals, and it's hard for folks at times to know what to do and what not to do, what to say and what not to say, how to behave versus how not to behave. And it can be particularly hard when you're dealing with emotions. And so, obviously, parties going through a divorce or family law case, it can be very emotional. It can be very hard. I mean, this is a time of year for a lot of people at the end of that year when, you were hoping maybe the year would go in a certain way. And obviously, if you're going through a divorce or family law matter, for a lot of people, that's not a joyous experience. And so, again, that can cause angst. It can cause nervousness. It can cause anger in some situations. I mean, really the full range of emotions. And so, for people out there that can't reach their attorney during the holiday season, and in fact, some situations really, these might be situations just happen in a moment, just happen in the course of a few seconds, and maybe there was no time to even reach out to that attorney. And so the frame out there that we've set up for this article is this, which is if you're going through a divorce or family law case and you don't know what to do or what not to do, you're not sure what to say or what not to say, and then you've got, all these ranges of emotions kind of going through you at the moment in time. Again, a good metaphor, a good way to think about this is picture yourself on the witness stand. Most family law cases ultimately do settle outside of court without a trial or an evidentiary hearing, but a lot of cases at times don't because people can't reach an agreement. And again, the metaphor out there is picture yourself on the witness stand. Envision, if you can, in real time, the decision before you, and envision the choices that are out there, and then just think about it, a month down the line, perhaps. Picture yourself on the witness stand and ask yourself, are you going to feel good about what you did or what you didn't do? Will you feel good about what you said or what you didn't say? And if clients are able to kind of break this down in real time, and I know this is hard for a lot of people out there because it's such a tough process and the emotions can be wide-ranging, but if you're able to kind of slow this down, look at the situation in real time, and if you're able to analyze the particular options out there, by picturing yourself on the witness stand with maybe the opposing counsel asking you very difficult questions, or maybe the judge or the guardian ad litem asking you very difficult questions about what you did or what you didn't do. And if you're able to do this and ask yourself, are you going to feel good about what you did, or will you feel regret about it? When the emotions come down and the angst and anger sort of pull themselves apart, will you be able to defend your actions? Or will it come down to a situation where ultimately you have to really step back from what you did and recognize that maybe it wasn't the best move? And in these times, again, picture yourself on the witness stand, picture yourself up there, and there's kind of a general rule or general metaphor, if you will. If it doesn't feel right, if it's not the type of decision that you think you're going to feel good about maybe months down the line, don't do it. If you're thinking about saying one thing versus another thing, and if the one comment maybe is out of anger and it's something you'll regret later, don't say it, perhaps. If you're trying to decide, whether to pay various bills or not versus getting hung up on principle, at the end of the day, you're going to feel good about what you did, and is it better to pay those bills and come into court with clean hands, if you will, feeling good about what you did? When if it's a co-parenting issue for the kids, you have to ask yourself, are you drawing a line in the sand based on, at the end of the day, pride, or are you drawing a line in the sand based on what's truly in the best interest for your kids? And at the end of the day, if you can kind of pull back on those types of decisions and analyze it, oftentimes clients are able to make the right decisions in the moment. Maybe versus the snide comment, the comment in anger, maybe in these situations it's better not to say anything. Because at the end of the day, if you're sitting on that witness stand, maybe that snide comment, maybe that sarcastic comment, or maybe that comment in anger feels good at the time, but it might not feel so good when you're sitting on the witness stand months down the line trying to defend it in a courtroom with a judge and a guardian ad litem and opposing counsel. So again, that's the metaphor. Picture yourself on the witness stand, and if you're able to do that, most folks are able to make the right decisions, because ultimately they pull themselves back and say, versus acting in the moment, versus acting on impulse, versus acting in anger, maybe it's best not to do that. Take a step back, picture myself on the witness stand, and then ultimately rise above the situation by doing the right thing, doing what's best for the kids, ultimately acting based on logic and reason versus emotion and anger. So again, that is a topic today. I hope you all found it interesting. Again, as a follow-up to the episode today, you can go to familylawheadquarters.com. The date of the article is December 6, 2014. And again, the title of the article is Picture Yourself on the Witness Stand. All right, well, thanks for all the listeners for tuning in today. Stay tuned for our next exciting episode of Family Law Talk with Stange Law Firm coming up. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to Family Law Talk with Kirk Stange. Visit StangeLawFirm.com for more about today's topic, or to put Stange Law Firm to work for your family today.
How's your money feeling? It's about to feel happier with a certificate from Happy Money's partner, Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. Elevate and increase your savings with 18-month terms and only a $500 minimum. And the happiest part? MSU FCU certificates yield 4.5% APY annual percentage yield. Now that's a happier side of money. Elevate your savings. Go to happymoney.com/MSUFCU. That's MSUFCU. Funds insured up to $250,000 by NCUA. The APY is accurate as of the 12/1/2023 dividend declaration date. Early withdrawal penalties do apply. Fees may reduce earnings on the account. Any monthly withdrawals or transfers reduce earnings.
The holidays start here at Baker's with a variety of options to celebrate traditions old and new. You could do a classic herb-roasted turkey or spice it up and make turkey tacos. Serve up a go-to shrimp cocktail or use Simple Truth wild-caught shrimp for your first Cajun risotto. Make creamy mac and cheese or a spinach artichoke fondue from our selection of Murray's cheese. No matter how you shop, Baker's has all the freshest ingredients to embrace all your holiday traditions. Baker's, fresh for everyone.